as always, we're very good at getting to 2-1. Whether or not we win round 4, kind of up in there, but we'll see what we can do. Alright, opponent finally showed up. Our hand is not good. Certainly not great, but I'm keeping it. We have all our colors. We have a removal spell and a Sidisi, and our opponent might be playing control, it looks like, so that could bode well for us. Island certainly seems like control. Alright, so now what's the play? I think we have a pretty good sequence here of Thoughtseize into Courser into Sidisi, so I'm going to take that line, and dear God. Opponent's hand is a bit on the top end. So, hands like this, I might be tempted to take the Pearl Lake because it'll take them a really long time to find a win condition. But since he has Elspeth also, I'm not sure if I really want to do that, although I do have the Downfall. It might be tempting to just take the Banishing Light, but I don't think I'm really going to be able to milk Courser Crucifix enough to not overextend into an end hostilities. So I'm probably going to have to play out the Sidisi, which gives him a pretty big window to cast Jason's Ingenuity and find an end hostilities. So I think I either take the Pearl Lake and blank the Elspeth with the Downfall, or I take the Ingenuity and try and grind him out, but that's going to be tough when he has Pearl Lake Ancient. So I think I'm just going to take the Pearl Lake, and that could certainly be wrong. But, you know, we rationed it out, and it sounds good to me, so. And then I'll play out this Courser. Hopefully Banishing Lights it, and then we can just go hog wild with Sidisi. So Satyr Wayfinder on top, that's not the worst card for sure. I've certainly seen worse. So no more Fountain, no more Strand, and he's not going to bother banishing the Courser, which is understandable. So don't want that Downfall. I could just play out Sidisi. Like that's not the worst thing. He can't act until next turn. He would had to have drawn End plus a white source in 3 turns, or he has to Ingenuity and all of that stuff. So he has like 7 draw steps to find all of them, which I think he is favored to do. I kind of feel like since I took the Pearl Lake, I want to play this slower, grindy game. It's certainly tough when he has Jason's Ingenuity. Yeah, I'm just going to slam. Mono Pain lands. And there's certainly some merit to playing the Delta, shuffling it off to see if I have a creature, but I think I'd rather save this Delta for later to land with Courser to fix my draws instead of trying to make sure I get a zombie here. And I hit a zombie anyway. So not the worst. And our opponent cracks that Strand, which indicates that he's drawn another land, but could be wrong about that, I guess. Let's play out our land here. We hit again with Sidisi, so that's cool. And now we have a Sage on top for his Banishing Light. And I think we have ample pressure now. So he's going to get the Ingenuity. And then we'll see what happens. See what he comes up with. And it's not End Hostilities mana. It's also not Elspeth mana. He's still not banishing anything. So play another land off the top here. Have an automatic trigger waiting for me with Sidisi, so that's cool. And our opponent is probably going to take a boatload of damage here. And I don't really want to commit to the board, but I also don't want to draw this Caryatid. And I wouldn't mind getting closer to Soul of Innistrad. So we don't hit a land. And there's another Wayfinder on top, so... not the worst. Certainly better than drawing a Caryatid. And he's just going to Ingenuity again. I would assume he has End Hostilities at this point. I'd be shocked if he did not. And it looks like a dig through time now to try and find the End Hostilities. And, like, he's got to have it after this dig. If not, that is just craziness. Yeah, okay. He has to discard a few cards, but probably not a big deal. Also just sets him up for future dig-through times. I think I want this Urborg. I still have two things to find with Delta. Definitely don't want that Caryatid. Alright, now we're kind of in trouble. We can commit this Sage, but I think we want the Sage for later. Because Banishing Light is the only real way for him to deal with Whip. And he did discard a Banishing Light. And I feel like he's just going to play Elspeth next turn. I guess I should get this Caryatid out there. Doesn't do anything for me in my hand, and I don't think he has to End Hostilities me again, so... Went through half my deck. Definitely would have preferred to find a Soul at this point. But came up a little short, and that's what happens when you only have one copy, you know. Could just be lurking somewhere near the bottom. Nothing you can really do about it. So opponent has 8 mana. Elects to not do anything. Presumably wants to play Elspeth with Counterspell mana back. And this could bode well for me, I suppose. Last Breath. Interesting. Well, I guess now I'm going to play out this Sage. Maybe not. What I wanted to do was hit him for 1 and then play Sage. So if you played Elspeth with Counterspell mana, I could downfall the Elspeth and then Doomwake away his tokens, assuming he countered the downfall. And then kill him. But now I make that play and I put him to 1. And now it just might mean that I do things in the reverse where I want to bait with the Doomwake and then actually resolve the downfall. And it looks like he's just jamming Elspeth, so... Alright, interrupted by the mailman. That was kind of absurd. So, yeah, now I think I just want to... I can maybe do both. He might have a negate or something. Did discard a land at one point. And that just dies. So I guess I'm getting nullified. That's probably what's actually happening. Yep. Okay. Now we just kind of got to settle in here. Now I might have to crack this Delta to get the last land out of my deck. I guess I don't have to because there's a Caryatid on the bottom that I don't want to draw. So it actually doesn't thin my deck because it just shuffles a bad card back in anyway. And we are land rich. Alright, so we've seen 18 of our lands. It's 6 left and 23 cards. Now he's bringing the pain. I don't know if that means he found a last breath or something that he doesn't mind trading with the Sage if I happen to kill his soldier. It's probably what it is. Another Ingenuity, sure. Oh no, Tranquil Cove up to 4. How do we beat that? Divination, sure. Up to 10 cards now. And now not attacking. Alright, so we have a Hornet Queen. Doesn't really do anything for us to just play that out there. Just makes him Wrath. Or makes him counter stuff. I think I'd rather just keep drawing cards and forcing him to like discard stuff. Just build up until I actually have 7 reasonable spells. So there's a Whip. It's a reasonable start. Just need to try and clear the way with a Thoughtseize probably. We still have a Thoughtseize we can draw. Well, there's a Wayfinder. Alright, maybe we get things started now. Alright, just gonna nullify that. That's cool. Ideally here, I hit the Soul of Innistrad. I don't have enough mana to activate. Just kind of unfortunate. I think it's okay, though. And we just milled our Thoughtseize. Whatever. Sidisi is okay, but I only have 14 cards in my deck. Don't really want to be milling myself anymore, although I don't think I'm really in danger of getting decked. I think the real issue is how many cards I have on the bottom of my deck before I find the Soul. So maybe I just want to bottom this so that I know I have, like, the Soul is closer to the top at that point. Because, like, right now, if it's above the Caryatid, I'm in trouble. So I think I just need to put another card on the bottom, regardless of what it is. So what I wanted there was to force him to use End Hostilities on the Queen to commit some mana on his turn, but since he didn't have to do that, that might have been like a poor usage, just because now he's not in danger of having to discard any of the stuff that might keep him alive. So I have another Pharika, a Whip, and the Soul. And those are all must counters. Okay, there's the Soul. No Dissipate, please. So we don't care about his graveyard. Let's make ours bigger. Just gonna stroke that. Alright, so what do we bring back? Bring back Pharika, Doomwake, maybe a Hornet Queen to force him to Wrath. And if we do that, we have enough mana to replay Farika. Hornet Queen, Farika. Maybe Doomwake's not the best one. Maybe it's just supposed to be another Hornet Queen. Yeah, that's probably best. And I don't mind running this out there. I'd rather it get Banishing Lighted than countered, but I think he's just going to counter it. And that's Dissolve number 1, I believe. Time to start whittling them down. 12 cards in our deck. So Hornet Queen's in there. That means I am anticipating an end hostilities. And then if we can draw a second whip this turn, that'd be great. He still has enough to double counter. And we are Courser rich now. Now maybe we just pressure him with a couple coursers. I don't know. I do think he had that last breath, though. I don't remember Jim's exact deck list and how many he had. But I guess if he just has to counter this Hornet Queen, we can just play out the coursers anyway. So DC on top may or may not end up getting used. I do want to draw that Farika and that Whip that are in my deck. So he does have a last breath and he's down to 2 cards. So maybe I can actually win this. And another Sidisi on top. Well, we'll just try for a whip, I guess. I assume this is getting dissolved. It is not. Jesus. Okay. What is the most busted thing we can do here? We can't kill him, because we don't have a 6-power guy. So we can basically just force the issue with more bees. And I don't think I have to commit anything past this. And then Whip will presumably get Banishing Lighted. And then we can Sage that. And maybe he doesn't have a Nullify. Yep. Banishing Lights. Not sure what's going on. Okay, so I guess we try for a Sage. He didn't have a counterspell last time. Well, he could have had a Nullify, I suppose. And he has a Dissolve. So that's bad times. Maybe we should have gotten the other Sage back, but I guess the Hornet Queen was still good. All right, so now we have 8 cards in our deck, and we can try and just run out these Siddices. This is risky, though, because I really don't want to mill my last whip. And I don't, so that's good. I got past some garbage. And these are just in there. Oh, dear. Okay, so now we have Farika. No! Alright, so here's the question. Do we attack with Siddici? Because then if he wraths us, if he kills something... Oh, I guess he would have to draw a card. He would have to draw a perfect card. And he did keep it on top, so that could be a dig through time. And, like, since he kept it on top, I really don't want to... I don't want to risk it. Risk him, like, you know, drawing a dig through time into some answers. So, yeah, I'm just going to attack. If he has a last breath, it's whatever, you know? But I'm kind of putting it in a spot where I have to attack, I think. And I know my bottom card's the other Siddici, so. We do it? Maybe? No, you're tapping mana. No. Okay, you're 2. Empty-handed, drawing a card. What is it? Is it a Wrath? Elspeth. That's the same thing as a Wrath. Okay. Yeah, good game. And now, because I'm recording, I'm down on time, so I might just lose to that, which would kind of suck. So standard control stuff. I guess Hornet Queens are okay, because he's blue-white. Cuts are certainly bad. All of these cards are pretty great. So how do I proceed? Guess I could probably cut a Downfall. Thoughtseize End Stroke to beat Elspeth also. Maybe I just don't mess with these Hornet Queens, but if I feel like I need something to bring back with Soul late game. I like that Siddici forces the issue on end hostilities and finds me my Soul. Courser's obviously great. Sage is pretty solid against Banishing Light. Yeah, maybe I just cut these queens. And we have a turn 3 Ashiok, so that's cool. Basically keep any hand with that. Especially, he could have Negate, I suppose. Do I want this Stroke? I think I do. His top end cards are pretty scary, like the card drawers. Really don't want him chaining those together. And he kept his card on top, so that's pretty funny too. So now we get to Ashiok it. Oh, okay. Cracking your fetch to get that card off the top, I guess? Maybe it was the Pearl Lake. Got some erases. Erase, Devouring Light. And he plays a Brimaz, so not ready for that. Was not ready for that. So we hit an Urborg and could potentially stop a 4-mana thing. I don't think that's particularly important right now. Nor do I think is this Sage very important. Stupid Brimaz. Yeah, he has counterspell mana for my Kiora. I think it's better to just trade here. Maybe it's better to just chump. So if I go chump, Ashiok goes to 6, up to 8. I Doomwake, he can counter it. And if I block, it goes to 4, up to 6. He attacks for 4, down to 2, up to 4. And I can Kiora this. I think this Doomwake's just going to get countered. Maybe we just bait with Kiora first. Maybe that's the trick. Three Elspeths. Alright. So those are all gone. Basically just need to weather the storm here. And that gets negated. So whatever he had for Doomwake Giant is still there. Just milling a bunch of lands. Stupid Brimaz. Yep. Well, at least he didn't finish things off with a dig through time there. Where's my Courser? I need my Courser to block. Do you think blocking the token was good? Could have just had like a Sidisi or something too. That would have been sweet. And he just lets the Whip resolve. Wonder if that... Yeah, it just has an erase for it. That's too bad. Maybe I should have waited a turn to actually get a Doomwake hit in. There you are. You're a little late. Found me a land though. Good job. Ooh, Farika. Could be good. Could allow us to stabilize if somehow he doesn't counter it. This Ingenuity we are definitely going to counter. I think we just block a token here. Makes my life easier for Farika down the line. And hopefully this does not get countered. Then maybe we can actually come back. Yeah. I don't have to crack that fetch yet. Don't want him planning around what I'm going to draw. Although, I would be shocked if there was something that I could draw that would actually get me back in this. I don't really think it changes his play at all. So, Doomwake, Farika, maybe Sidisi, Whip. So I have some good draws. Swamp is not one of them, unfortunately. Ashiok, also not one of them. Okay. Good games, good games. Unfortunately, I ended up 2-2. I think I probably punted round... Well, I almost certainly punted round 3, game 3. And this one... I mean, I guess I should have just kept in like an extra downfall or perhaps drawn better. I don't know. I would normally not expect Brimaz to just run over me completely, but that is basically what happened. So, good beats.